What is going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building for another episode of the Shop Podcast. How is everybody feeling? We are back on this Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, more so, or night for a lot of you guys listening, man. But we got a great show lined up, man. We got a phenomenal guest. Has been on the show before, but it's been a little while, so he's kind of reintroducing himself back to the shop. But man, always big family here. But before we get into the guests, get into the pleasantries, we want to just say we greatly appreciate you guys coming out, watching the show every single Saturday. You guys are showing love and showing support. So hit the link below, retweet, hit the notification button. That way you guys are aware when we go live on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evenings, more so. But yeah, let's go ahead and just dive right into the pleasantries, man. We're going to start with our guest of honor here. Now, this gentleman's been here before, family. You know, he don't need to ask me to get a cup of water. You go straight to the fridge, Joe. You don't need to ask me for a cup of water. Your family.
Oh, thank God, I'm thirsty, man.
Yeah, man. So you got full permission in the shop, man. But appreciate you, man. Shout out to you being here. But let everybody know what's going on with you, where they can find you, and if they don't already know, I mean, they should.
I mean, they honestly, Blam, I think they should. And if they haven't, how dare you? But no, I am Mr. Badbit, host of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation each and every Thursday weekly show. It is fantastic. It is the thing that I love to do the most, the thing I look forward to the most each and every week is sitting down with my friend Kyle. But this week I was very, very excited, almost equally so, to be on this show. So much so that I showed up literally like a day early.
We saw that. That was actually a failed tweet on my part, so I'll take the assist for that one, Joe.
All right, good. Listen, it happens. It happens to me way more times than I'd like to admit. Way more time, and I'm supposed to be like the social media manager of the group, and here I am. Got like 2 left thumbs. It's the worst. But no, seriously, man, thank you guys for having me. I've been waiting in the sidelines for my opportunity to come back here, talk some games, and yeah, we got a lot to talk about this week, so I'm excited, man.
All right, man. Once again, you guys please go support PS Trophy Room. That's where I get my PlayStation news. I don't know where you guys go, but I mean, if you're a fan here of the Shop Podcast, please do me a big favor. Go follow Joe, Kyle. All that information is down in the description below. That's my one-stop shop for PlayStation anything. I don't go anywhere else. You heard it here first. So appreciate you coming in, hanging out with us, Joe, man. Shout out to Kyle as well, man. We got to show big love to Kyle, man. That's the other half over there of the operation. You're just the face, Joe. You're just the face.
I'm the face. Kyle's the voice. He's fantastic. He is literally the best co-host that anyone could ask for. And
awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
He doesn't get enough love, damn it. He's always so busy and such. So yeah. Shout out to Kyle.
Yeah, you guys might have to rework that contract out. I don't know. He may. Yeah, we're gonna have to revise that thing. But no, appreciate you, man. Once again, shout out Kyle, shout out you, Joe, for hanging out here, man. Once again, do me a favor, go follow, go show support over there at the PlayStation Trophy Room, man. They all over the place, like you said. You can find them all over. But let's go ahead and dive into my compadres here, man. Shout out to the people in the chat. If you're hanging out with us live, man, retweet, let everybody know we're live. So we're gonna start with you, Pong Harvey, Hollywood Pong. I'm running out of names. every week is something brand new, man. Shout out to you, man. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Of course, BTK. It's Saturday night. I'm here with my brothers, man. It's been one heck of a week. Again, acquisition season opening up in Redmond, Washington. Nothing's better than that.
My goodness.
Scorched earth next week. The internet's going to be broken. It's all over with. Joe's going to have to switch his whole show.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe, you're here's the buffer. You're here's the buffer between the, you're the middle ground today. Like you're the So
for anybody who doesn't know, that was a little shot at Joe because of his tweet that he put out earlier that acquisition season was no longer allowed to be said. So he's going to hear that a lot on every topic, even though we're not going to talk about acquisition tonight. Acquisition season is open. So anyways,
I'm sorry, Joe. I really am.
It's been a great week anyways. Love to smoke. Love all the conversation. Energy is high no matter what. We got so many games dropping. Finally completed my first run through Hades, which was absolutely incredible. That addicting, cheating-ass game. I was so mad at it, but I finally got through a run. So I was happy.
Good, Pong. Get
yes.
good.
Hey, whatever. I can't get good when he cheats. So you know what I'm saying? Anyways, did that. Steele and I beat the original Origami, getting ready for Origami 2. We are diving into that this weekend. So that is on Game Pass. A great game. The original was great. I'm looking forward to number 2 for those old Tenchu vibes. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm pumped. Saturday night, we got Joe here. I love Joe. I give him a hard time, but I do love him. I've missed him. I have not been able to podcast with him for a while, and so it is fantastic to have him here. So let's get down to it, PTK.
Yeah, and you can accept that Cash App from Joe later, by the way. All the niceties.
That's right.
No, but shout out to you, Pong, for being here, man, hanging out with us every single week. And once again, chat, it is live, man. So let everybody know we're live here at the shop. Got a lot to talk about today. But let me get to my other 2 compadres here. Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, man. What's going on with you, brother?
Oh, man. Just having fun in early retirement.
That's right. We didn't
Yes.
even is this some kind of official announcement?
Yeah. I'm, stay-at-home dad now. I've worked, in the automotive aftermarket industry for 23 years. So it's
Congratulations,
time
Buzz.
Yeah, man.
Damn,
Official,
man.
man.
for me
Congrats.
to take a little bit of a break and, focus on gaming even more than I was before. But, man, it's just been awesome this past week. Got the kids into looking forward to other games as well. And, man, there's just so much we want to try to squeeze in and cover today. But gaming news, it's like Gamer Christmas almost every week when you look on Twitter or just any of the news outlets and things like that. So it's been fun. But, man, can't wait to get to it. Let's do this.
Let's dive into it, man. And last but not least, Centurion, how you been, brother?
I'm doing great, man. It's Saturday night. It's time to kick off the weekend, at least for me, and it is time for that Shop podcast. Mr. Badbit, it is definitely an honor once again I believe it's the second time I've been able to podcast with you on a different show. Yes. Yeah. But I also keep up with you on, like, when you show up on Boomstick and other podcasts. I really love your energy when it comes to the PlayStation brand. You keep it very untoxic, very professional and fun. And I mean, when I do go to looking for PlayStation centric news or that enthusiasm for the PlayStation brand, I definitely tune into you because you're not championing anything other than positive features about the PlayStation brand.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a paid advertisement?
I did pay him $25.
Wait. Where's my check? Did I forget to
it's in the mail.
I also try to keep myself also looking kind of nice. You got to remember, there is a dude called Fanboy running around on my channel that sometimes makes fun of things.
Shout out to you though, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate you being here, Centurion, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. So it's been fun greasing the wheels here, but let's go ahead and dive in. Once again, chat, shout out to you guys. Let everybody know we're here live at the Shop Podcast. Let us know, chat, what you guys are playing, how you feeling this week, just what you've been up to in general, man. But we're starting with the poll of the week. It has returned. Last week, I don't believe we did one on purpose. I think that was due to the PlayStation Showcase, but it is back. It makes its triumphant return every single Monday on my Twitter feed. At some point on Monday, you guys will see a poll of the week, and this thing's been going crazy. So thank you guys for voting. Continue to do so if you want to be a part of that. But this week's poll of the week was, with the recent success of Double Fine, Arcane Studios with Psychonauts and Deathloop, which of these studios are going to make the next hit game? And I have 4 options, always 4. We got Compulsion Games, Undead Labs, Machine Games, and NXile Entertainment. So it was actually a tie. Machine Games 32%, NXile 32%, third place or second place, you could say. Compulsion Games 21%, Undead Labs coming in at 15%. So Joe, those options, you don't necessarily have to stay on track here. Where we give a lot of leeway here at the shop, so it don't have to be those 4. But what do you think that next? Because I mean they're 2 for 2, Double Fine, and I don't I don't. I would say they were kind of left field considering where most people viewed the games before we actually got them in our hands. But both hits either way. So where are you at, man? What's the next hit coming from?
I want to say... See, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a big fan of Compulsion Games.
That's fair.
They don't have a good track record with me. I think We Happy Few was definitely a game that definitely existed. And I think with that acquisition, that was, I think, a a pretty inexpensive buy for Microsoft to
Uh-huh.
kind of grow that studio and see what vision they wanted to hit with that game and see what they can do in the future. But I really like In Exile.
Ooh,
In Exile
Wasteland.
knows, yeah, man. In Exile knows exactly what type of game that they want to make. They are extremely talented with the resources that they're able to have or that they've had in the past. Wasteland's a great example of a really good, what is it, CRPG,
Yeah.
where I feel like if their next, project's anything like people are saying, where it's like a first person esque role playing game,
Yeah.
I want to see what they can do with a boatload of cash. I say this a lot, and I really do mean it. The studios that I want Microsoft to go after aren't giant publishers. They're AA studios, because
Oh,
I feel
interesting.
like Obsidian, Ninja Theory, In Exile, just to name a few, those are the best gets for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because these are talented studios that have had to work within budgets to make really amazing art, and to see them not have to be strapped for cash, see what they can actually do when they have the backing of a huge company like Microsoft. That's the thing that I'm really excited to see. So I think In Exile is going to make something that is going to have heads turning for the first time in a really long time for them, because though they are beloved for their fans, it's more like a cult classic. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see the spotlight on them, really.
Okay. So and they are confirmed, I believe. I even think the studio head came out and said they're working on a AAA game of some sort, correct?
Yeah.
I believe it's a few years out, maybe a couple E3s away from
I
us
think
hearing
they even
anything.
said like it's going to be Unreal Engine 5 or something. If I'm
He
not
gave us
mistaken.
some good nuggets. He gave us a few good nuggets about, kind of to kind of get a start of, what to expect for the game. I know it was, I believe, AAA. Did he mention third person? I don't remember.
I think he said first, if I'm not
First
mistaken.
person?
But yeah,
Okay.
I could be
Okay.
wrong.
I could be wrong. Yeah.
Whatever they're working on, though, I want to see the spotlight on them, because they are a terrific studio.
Absolutely.
Just terrific. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I 100% agree. That's a great them. So I guess I'll go and just kind of get myself out of the way. My choice would have been Machine Games, and I think we'll get that. Obviously, they're working on the Indiana Jones game.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going on with that, but despite the fact that whether or not to the multiplat or not, I'm super interested to see where they go with that game. Shout out to Xbox Era. I know they were doing a not live stream. They were doing a podcast earlier. Where shout out to Cog. He was on there, and they were talking about this. How it's curious to see, because they do games in first person. Indiana Jones, you think the first thought is third person, right? I mean, most people first thought, Uncharted, Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider, you get third person vibes. So that's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between they make first person games and them actually trying to do indie in first person, if that is the goal.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting to see. And this is irregardless of where the game actually ends up, just the style of the game that they're going to make. I don't know if you ever thought about that, Joe, but that's a very interesting dynamic with that Indiana Jones game.
Yeah, because we just assume what it is. We don't really, and that's oftentimes when we assume what the game's going to be, and then they show us something completely different, So like for me, yeah, like we assume it's going to be like an Uncharted game, but do we really just want an Uncharted game? But like what does an indie game look like?
Good point.
And that's, yeah, like who knows whether it's first person, first person, third person, whether it's, I don't know, a turn-based game, whatever they want to do, But yeah, that's an excellent pick as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Pong. I know you just you've been vacationing all week in Speculation Town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I seen you. You
Yeah.
pulled up the
Oh,
sign
yeah.
next door.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw you. But anyway,
Cole Mayor with Mr. Boomstick. So absolutely, that's where I love to spend my time.
But anyway, man. So
Yeah.
topics on you, man. So out of those options, what do you think? Not necessarily just those options, but where do you think that next game is coming from that may not have been on the radar to begin with, like a Psychonauts or a Deathloop?
Well, with your list, it's basically who gets the game out first, right? So that's how I looked at your list, because I think that every single one of these has the ability, has the resources now, and definitely has the talent to pull off the next big hit. So I'm going to go with Joe on this one and go In Exile.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Compulsion, I think is not going to be the first one out the gates. So I left them kind of off just because I think their next game is going to be the next big thing. There's been some stuff behind the scenes. What they're going for and what people have seen and some of the artwork that we've seen come out of this with the steampunk aesthetic and that kind of stuff. I think Compulsion is going to pull it off. And I think Compulsion is going to put their name on the map. So no matter what people thought of We Happy Few in their previous games, I think Compulsion's definitely going to make their mark. However, In Exile, I talked about them today on Split Screen 2 as well. They are, I would say, their talent as far as writing, character development is right up there on par with Obsidian and with Bethesda. I think these guys and gals are absolutely phenomenal at what they do. They just, again, made like Wasteland, which is not everybody's cup of tea. Again, turn-based strategy RPGs are not for everybody. So Wasteland, even though it did very well, has continued to do well. They just put out their last portion of DLC. Yeah, correct. Not a lot of people have gotten to see what In Exile can do. So given the opportunity to create this first person, I've heard it might even be a third person option in there, which would be cool. To be able to do something big like this, to pull out a AAA type of experience with what I already know that they do extremely well, I think is a recipe for the next big hit. And I think In Exile's further along than we think they are. They've got multiple teams there. And I think that they've been working on this game for a long time. This is obviously a game that Phil saw and his team saw when they went to acquire them. It's one of the reasons why they went out and got them. And I think that we are going to see something shortly. I think maybe even by the VGAs, we could get a glimpse at what they're doing. And I think this is when In Exile announces their ascension to the upper tier ranks of all the studios that Xbox currently has. And it's going to be impressive. I can't wait. These people all deserve it. They are talented individuals, but they are also extremely passionate. I forget the gentleman's name who was at the show when we're announcing the final DLC for Wasteland 3. You have those type of people in your studio, you can't help but make good games. When you've got people who believe in what they're doing, and I'm not taking away from any other studios. I'm sure that you ask 98% of the people there, they're going to believe in what they're doing. I'm just saying there's something special when you can get on stage and talk in front of a group of people and tell your story and why you are so excited for a piece of DLC. That goes a long way to show me what kind of environment they are working with over there. And I, again, cannot wait to unwrap whatever gift they're going to give us, because I know it's going to be good. So In Exile it is. I agree with Joe.
All right. And I want to boomerang something back to you real quick, Joe, because he brought up a great point. And this is something that could these studios theoretically, all right, we're really shooting the shit here, Joe, right? This is what we're doing. All right. So theoretically, could that hall of studios, but like, these studios really could change the way, like the entire face of Xbox if they pull it off. Like, because if you got to look at the studios that Xbox purchased, like they're extremely talented, but for whatever reason didn't get the type of credits they deserve. So a lot of these studios are at that point, and I think you were kind of on that same line where you mentioned that a lot of studios you want Xbox to get aren't necessarily the biggest studios. Yeah. So I think you were already there, but I kind of wanted you to elaborate on that point about the type of studios, not necessarily that they're going after, but the ones that they currently have as far as seeing this. I mean, we just highlighted it. The poll of the week, we're talking about it with Psychonauts 2. Double Fine, story, cult following, everybody knows the dev, but no, it never really got the wide recognition that it's seeing now. Same thing with Arcane. People are kind of on the fence with Arcane for whatever reason, but they make Prey. They make Dishonored, but people are still on the fence. So to see the universal success with Deathloop, so kind of in that area, like, what do you think just about the stable that they currently have, not even including the people that they might go out and get?
That's the thing. Culture is really important, and branding also important. So when I take a look at all these studios, they have now an Xbox quality to them. Like, when the Bethesda purchase happened, I said, hey, it's a little troubling. But if it's any publisher that Xbox is going to buy, this one makes total sense because they've worked so well together in the past on multiple projects, Morrowind and Oblivion being the two most celebrated and highlighted. So taking a look at like a game like Psychonauts 2, where Double Fine, you would think, because they've had such a long history of PlayStation, that would be such a PlayStation get. But if you're PlayStation, you take a look at them going, we got the platformer guys with Insomniac, right? Like what do they do that we don't? And so what I like to see from Microsoft, what we are seeing from them, is them fulfilling what their portfolio desperately needs, which is variety. So for me, I take a look at like an Exile or Ninja Theory. They all have a vibe that I can never put my finger on, but I go, that is the ID of Xbox. I could take a Hellblade and put her, or Senua, and put her alongside, you name it, the Master Chief, or oh god, I was gonna try to name the Dishonored guy, but I couldn't. The Arcane dude, and they kind of, for some reason, feel like they fit within this family, like they're cousins or something. So for me, it has to fulfill an identity of the brand. And I think we're starting to see that with Xbox and see that with the brand, but that's still going to take time.
Yeah.
The one thing that I can never stress enough is acquisitions are always fun to talk about or all that jazz, but that's only part of that puzzle. That's only one piece. Now they got to see how management and devs start to gel with each other. And that's going to give you truly amazing games. Awesome. Is that push and pull between management, developer, and then development teams.
Cool. All right. So great breakdown. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Get your opinion on the poll of the week, man. So out of those options, you can always go off script. You know how we do here. Which game or which studio do you think is going to be that next hit?
Well, while I agree on the talent in NXL with Badbit and Pong, I chose Compulsion primarily because I think their game is actually going to hit first. As far as what we'll see
out of the people on the list.
Out of the people on the list,
Okay.
I don't think State of Decay 3 is going to be for some time. And same thing with NXIL's game. I think they're going to be a little bit of time down the road. We'll probably see a bit more about it, but just as far as like some of the tweets with Phil saying, he's either played the sample or seen the sample, and this was like back in 2018, 2019 or so, I think it was, for Compulsion's game. I'm hoping they have the staffing needed to be able to get that game turned around where it's not going to be like a full 5-year dev cycle or something like that. But I just have a gut feeling that their next game, whether it's, Contrast 2 or something completely different type of deal, that theirs is going to be one of the earlier ones released. And I have a feeling it's going to, kind of surprise us. It's like the past few games that, Xbox Studios, even like with Deathloop going over to PlayStation and everything, I think it kind of caught people off guard or surprised people because I remember seeing tweets and things as far as not many people were expecting much from Deathloop. And the same thing,
it became
other
than
the actual
them
super
showing
fans
it
for Double Fine. It was the same thing with Psychonauts, but I think it caught a lot of people off guard in a good way, and really surprised them or caught their attention. And I think Compulsion's game will do that more so than what their We Happy Few did, primarily because that game, when it being like a preview game, it went through a couple of different changes throughout that dev cycle or dev process where it's like, oh, we want to make it a survival game, and I don't think anybody that was playing it in preview really wanted that survival aspect. So it kind of midstream took a left turn at Albuquerque type of thing. So, but Compulsion is my vote just based on timing. I just feel that we'll see that game on our Xboxes here within 2 years. I think the other games are more 2 years plus or 3 years plus type of range.
That's fair because Compulsion. I mean, I don't know, Joe, if we're keeping a timeline on like when we first heard about like rumblings about them making a new. It's been probably what at least 3 years. I'd say.
I think a little bit more than that.
Maybe.
Right? Like 3 or 4. Yeah. Again, Compulsion comes soon. I'm still apprehensive about that studio. I think they're probably the ones that have the most to prove.
That's fair.
Because of their track record. When like the thing is, when it comes to like Phil's quotes, I never trust any CEO to tell me the truth ever. So like I expect him if Herman Holtz comes out and he's just like, hey guys, I don't know about this next God of War. We made Thor fat and it scares some folks. It's like I expect him to sell me on that. So like same with Phil. I expect him to sell me on that. And then the truth being like the thing is on fire. Kind of like God of War, where they're like 8 months into that game or that game supposing to launch, Shuhei Yoshida played it and was horrified with the build. So, you know, I again, that's spokesperson role, but I think with them, they have the most to prove, and that's the exciting thing.
True.
That's the thing that I think comes out from them is that, yeah, all they have is we happy few to prove themselves. And yeah, with like the more robust team, the more money and security that comes from Microsoft, they kind of get to make the game that they actually want. And that's going to be a great barometer to see where they're headed as a studio.
Yeah. And that's fair because everybody gets that, you know, once you get that chance, you know, and that's that you can say that with some more so, you know, as far as the Xbox studios and the lineup than others, Compulsion definitely being one of the few that I feel I would agree with you on that point, Joe, as far as them, you know, needing to show, you know, not necessarily that value because there was a ton of people that like We Happy Few, but just take the reins off a little bit, show what they actually can do. So I'm super interested in what they got coming too, because they are talented though. There's no doubt about that. So let's go ahead and throw this over to Centurion before we wrap this first topic up. So where you at on this poll of the week, Centurion? So out of those options, bro, or like I said, off script, which one did you choose, man?
Well, you know how I feel about like repeating what's already been said or regurgitating it, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
You know, so, but let's say we'll start with Fuzzy. I can't fully agree more. If we're talking about who's going to come first out the gate with a good game, definitely Compulsion Games. I've heard some rumors from people that I listen to, talk to, all say that, I mean, this game is pretty darn close. They were actually shocked that nothing was shown for it at E3, that it's so close. And now if we're talking about like what game do I think is really going to totally help change, like what developer is really going to help create a new kind of brand for themselves, that's where I'm going to kind of like go right back to In Exile Entertainment. And that's mainly because of like, I don't know if you guys saw Jez's new article that came out yesterday. Did any of you get that one?
No, I didn't see it.
Yep.
So
saw it, read it. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You know, he has me really excited for what In Exile is crafting for themselves. If what he says is true, it's some kind of steampunk first-person shooter RPG. I mean, it sounds absolutely amazing.
And this is In Exile?
Yeah, apparently it's called something that it hasn't even been named. It's something called Project Cobalt.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I mean, he's got me excited for what's coming. And I mean, really, it goes back to what Pong said. Jez at the end of the article even stated that right now is an amazing time. I mean, it has never been a more exciting time to be an Xbox gamer. It has never been a better time to be excited for the brand. All of these studios really are going to help kind of officiate that. And I'm really looking forward to what every single one of them is going to put out. But definitely if we're going first out the gate, Compulsion. If we're talking about who's going to really knock it out the park, at least right now, from what I can see, it's definitely going to be In Exile.
Okay, so it looks like we had a majority on the In Exile. So, okay, we'll definitely see where that goes. But once again, shout out to all of those super talented studios. We're all waiting patiently to see what you guys are cooking up out there. But, man, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, man. Shout out to chat. Appreciate you guys showing love, man. Once again, let us know what you guys think about the topics as well. They're for you just as much as they for us. So you guys help keep the show live. So thank you so much for watching. So on to a little bit of Halo, this game that we know and love. Well, some of us know and love. I'm not gonna call anybody out, okay? But yeah, we got a flight test coming up with the 24th. We got big team. Obviously, the arena's coming back, but we got big team battle. So you know what that means, Joe? It's vehicle time.
That's right.
It's vehicle time. Finally get to test out some cool things. So it's funny because I've kind of felt like the Halo flight test it came and it kind of went, and it kind of, I mean, a lot's happened in between the time, but they put out the tweet, I think the same day of the Sony event, right? I believe it was
I think the same day, right? Like the day before.
The day before, yeah, maybe the day before. So, but I'm super excited. Once again, I didn't get a chance to participate in the first one. Definitely want to play this one. So I just want to get you started on this, Joe. I just want to know how you're feeling. Once again, we got to put some respect on 343's name because the flight test was phenomenal for the majority of people that played it. It got off to a bit of a rough start based on some reports, but it's been going well, and we see some other games struggling out of beta. Battlefield, COD, Halo hasn't had that problem.
Oh, man.
Anyway, go ahead. I don't want to open that door, Joe, but go ahead, bro.
Seeing some of the shit from Call of Duty, my God, dude. If anybody still has pre-orders for that game, cancel them. Like, oh my. So, here's the thing. If a game is about to get review bombed, what happens is PR people will just flood creators with code so that everybody gets them, so that it kind of muddies the water. And to see the same thing happen for this beta for Call of Duty, where it was supposed to be closed, and they're just like, yeah, everybody check your email. We're handing out beta codes to everybody. Everybody can play now. It's still closed beta though. Ignore the control monsters that we have in there. But nonetheless, Halo looks to be the king this holiday season. When it comes to shooters, when it comes to multiplayer, Halo's going to be where it's at. I was in the flight, and I loved every second of it. Like, a game is good when you're fighting bots on easy for 4 hours straight. That's how you know you have something special. And even playing that brief hour of multiplayer with people, man, it felt great. I miss it. Halo is, for me, one of the staples of me being a gamer of what I am today. So, yeah, I'm very excited for this flight. I'm excited for a big team because that's where I lay my head at night. And then also for the arena, I really can't wait to see what 343 has in store for us. I am excited for Halo, and I know it has so much to prove and so many expectations to kind of smash.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it's the chances of them meeting the mark for everything is small.
Yeah.
Because I think we've elevated it to such a status that it's just like it needs to be perfect or it's nothing. And that hurts me because I know what Halo is at the end of the day, and I love Halo for its multiplayer. Like, as a person that actually uses co-op in Halo, that's how me and my brother bond all the time is with co-op. I'm like, put this game out. Just put it out. I don't care it has no Forge mode. It's another thing that, honestly, taking a look at, the broken promises, some people were suggesting that, the team said back in January, February that this game was done, that they were polishing the launch of this game.
Yeah.
Back in February. It goes back to what I stated, 5-10 minutes ago is, don't trust when companies say or spokespeople say a gosh dang thing. Like, they're always going to tell you everything is perfect and like the walls are damaged, right?
They give you the politician talk.
Exactly. Only I can fix it type of stuff. So, like, to me, it's just like 343, as transparent as they've been, they've also put their foot in their mouth a couple of times. But honestly, like, look at the competition. Like, Call of Duty's on fire. Battlefield's currently on fire from what we've been hearing. Halo seems to be the only thing that is structurally fine.
I see you shaking saying that, Joe. You kind of shaky on that.
Well, because like the foundation, the multiplayer, gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. But here's the thing. When that game comes out, because this is what IGN does and other like sites like GameSpot do, is that when there's a multiplayer focused game like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield, they'll put 2 reviews out there. So they'll review the multiplayer as a separate thing, and then the single player as a separate thing, and I think sometimes they merge the scores together to give it this final score. I just know that if the multiplayer's a 10 and the story's a 7, everybody's just going to yell at some poor person that had to review this thing. And then at the same exact time, yell at the developers to say that they didn't work hard enough during what has been a global condition.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I'm always I'm nervous about with Halo, is it has to hit all these what I feel like are unrealistic expectations, because we're asking so much of it from the get. And from some extent, it's fair, because this game was announced back in 2018, right?
Yeah,
2019?
yeah, 2018, 19.
Yeah, and so the other extent is, look at where we are right now in this world. It's hard on a lot of folks. So, yeah, that's kind of where I land on it. I'm excited for Halo. It's still my most anticipated game this year. I expect it to be my game of the year, because all Halo has to do is throw me in the helmet of Master Chief, give me an assault rifle, and I'm already in love. Like, that's how low my bar is for Halo. It's like, just get me in this multiplayer so I can own some kids.
Nice. And the funny thing is, Halo is weird, Joe, and I kind of want to highlight this. People lose perspective with Halo like very quickly. We went from Craig to what we have now.
Yes.
So, I mean, you had literally Craig for a whole year. It was Craig. And look at the turnaround that they made in just 12 months time, essentially.
Yeah. And
I didn't even expect that. Like what we got, I didn't even see that coming, Joe, to be honest with
you. Yeah. And for it to run as smooth as it did as well, like, again, this game has come such a long way. Thinking about Craig is, I think, the antithesis of what I feel about Xbox's messaging, where Xbox is like, their social media team at times is just phenomenal. It's like the best in the industry. And then there are these moments where like bases are loaded, it's a grand slam, and then they somehow hit a foul ball. Like when we first saw Halo and everybody poo-pooed it, I liked it. I'll die on that hill. I liked what I saw. But when people pointed out Craig and it was memed, they said, hey, this is a build of like 6 months ago or 6 or 8 months ago. And my question always is like, why? Why couldn't that be a build from a month ago, man? Like, I don't know the ins and outs, and that's where I get ignorant and foolish. But like, to me, I'm like, this is your crown jewel. Yeah. This is the thing this is your Mario, and you're gonna give us a very old build? No, goodness gracious! But yeah, to see where it's gone is, man, that game is beautiful. Playing it at 120 hertz, man, oh, so smooth, so gorgeous. The sounds, that shotgun, I hear it in my dreams. My God, it's just the explosions. It feels like you're punching a guy with a sandbag. That's what it sounds like. So
we're a non-violent show, people. We support.
Yeah. Not so much. When you get that shotgun in my hands in Halo, things are going down. Looks awesome.
But I do agree, Joe, and I think it's funny. It's really easy to lose perspective on kind of where Halo's come and gone, because it's been kind of a long dev cycle for Halo, and the expectations have been up and down. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. So I think perspective gets a little lost in translation sometimes. But I think where they're at currently they far exceeded where I thought they even needed to be at this point. So
Yeah.
for me, it's already a big W. But let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Mr. Pong Soul. Get your opinion on this flight test coming up, man. I know you're hype.
You know me. I again coming from casual Halo fan here. The first flight test was absolutely amazing. I thought it was so well polished that I couldn't believe it. What I took away from the first flight was they weren't joking when we heard all that talk that the multiplayer was ready to go. And this year has just probably even made it even better at this point. And I think that's what we saw coming out of that was that they are ready to rock and roll. Now, whether or not the servers are ready to handle 10, 20 million people logging in, we'll see. But the game itself is definitely ready from the multiplayer aspect. So that was good. Obviously, another big step forward here with Big Team Battle. That is something that everybody's been looking forward to.
Yeah.
Live fire with live people, vehicles thrown into the mix. That's what we were really looking forward to. We got a small little tiny crumb taste at the end of the last flight of actual PvP. Things got ramped up considerably compared to the bots. Even though the bots were really good, nothing compares to Halo with live people. So I think this is really going to showcase. And I think this will definitely solidify the fact that the King is back come this holiday. Without a doubt, again, casual Halo fan here, but at the same time, I recognize greatness. And there's no doubt that Halo, again, without Halo, who knows where we'd be at with first-person shooters, in the industry. So they set the mark. It's been a while, but they have always had success. 343, obviously, we know what's happened there. So for this team to come out, put out a big team battle flight, give everybody what they've been looking for, and if it comes across the same way the first one did, look, the hype, it's already through the roof. We saw what happened after that flight. I mean, there was nothing, even the haters had nothing to say other than Fruitgate, right? That's what they had to come up with was Fruitgate. Okay.
I hate that guy so much every time.
I know. I know, Joe. But legit, he looked again. It was so bad that the circus even looked laughable just because the clowns had to come up with Fruitgate to say something. That's how good the first flight was. So if this one pulls that same thing off with big team battle, the vehicles feel as good as the weapons already feel. Again, the King is back, and all those people that forgot why Halo is Halo are going to start to remember. And then when this hits as a free-to-play multiplayer, my God, man, there is nothing that's going to stop this freight train. Nothing. With Call of Duty, Vanguard on the down, and looking to have serious problems. Battlefield, my personal one that I'm looking forward to, that I'm going to spend a lot of time in, had its issues as well. I did see some good stuff compared to what I was seeing out of Vanguard. I'll tell you that much. I saw some videos that weren't supposed to be posted of people playing Battlefield, and it looked great. But they obviously, again, there's a lot of questions surrounding Battlefield, and we'll see if they can pull it off there as well. Halo's going to dominate this holiday. This flight test is just one more step towards that process. And again, look, watch out. If this is as successful as the first one, the internet once again is just going to be dominated by nothing but positivity, nothing but just reminding people again why Halo is the best of the best, and we're going to see that. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So I want to throw something out there. I want to throw this out there, Joe. This might be where Halo stands, by the way. Me and Joe are Halo stands. So we're coming from that perspective. But could this possibly, I mean, the free-to-play part plays a huge part in this. Could this be the biggest Halo multiplayer possibly, like ever?
Yes. Oh yeah, it has. What Pong said, it has the opportunity. Call of Duty. That's why when people are like, "Oh, you gotta delay it by 3 months because you're not gonna have co-op and Forge," it's like, shut up, just shut up, you clowns. Honestly, I got so fed up with that talk because it's like, yes, you could be upset that they told you it was finished in February and it's whatever. You justification, right? But to delay it is the dumbest decision I have ever heard, because you have the opportunity. You have Call of Duty not in great shape. You have Battlefield in not so much great shape. You have the opportunity to make an impact. And we're not dethroning Call of Duty. Call of Duty is going to be around. Kids are going to buy it. It's going to be the top selling game this year. That's, I don't need a magic ball to tell me that. But what Halo needs to do is make a serious impact, and making that multiplayer free, making that multiplayer on PC as well on Xbox is the smartest move that Microsoft can make. The problem with exclusive multiplayer games is their shelf life isn't that long. You could take a look at things like Gears of War, and it kind of echoes that statement. You need to come out the gate swinging, and that's what I want Halo to do. And I think by having it out on December is late enough. Put that thing out there, have it wow people. Because once you have that impact, once you have that sustained audience, that's when you can actually become that staple in multiplayer. Because to me, Halo is king. Halo is my favorite multiplayer. But I'm not ignorant to the facts of it is still on only 2 platforms. Call of Duty is the biggest thing since sliced bread, and its integration with one of, if not the second most popular battle royale mode ever. Halo really needs to come out swinging, and this is the best opportunity for it. So, yeah.
No, I agree. I think a lot of the things you just highlighted, as well as Pong. So, Halo is in a phenomenal space. And it's crazy because, Joe, this is they're treating, this is the first Halo I believe that they've ever looked at like this is going to be a 10-year thing, or long roadmap kind of Halo. We've never had this experience for Halo as well. So I think that's another reason people need to. When I first heard that we need to delay it thing, I had a completely different reason for that being silly. To me, it was, are you guys not understanding what they're trying to do with this game? This is not the same typical 30-hour campaign. You're not going to get any DLC. They're talking about 10-year type game. They're on some Destiny 2 stuff. So, if we're looking at it from that perspective, they're doing completely different things this time around. So, and we're going to see the fruits of that labor. Now, we don't know how this is going to shake out, Joe, but I do agree with a lot of the points you brought up. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Get your opinion on this flight test. Where you at? I know you're kind of a just getting into Halo. You're kind of a casual Halo fan as well, but where you at on the flight test and kind of how that stacks up? We see what's going on with Call of Duty. We see what's going on now. Battlefield's not in such bad shape. I've kind of heard mixed things about Battlefield, but Call of Duty is falling apart right now. They got that thing, tried to put flex tape on it, all kind of seals, and it's just falling apart, man. I don't know what's going on over there, man.
Well, for me, I'll get the other first-person shooters out the way first. Call of Duty wasn't even on my radar. The only reason why I'm purchasing it is for my sons. They're testing the open beta, which originally it was like, oh, you got to pre-order it and all that stuff. Luckily, we get to try for free and see if it's even something that they're going to want to play, because they mainly like doing more of the modern warfare stuff or the like Escape from Tarkov. So Call of Duty's only purchased if they give like the thumbs up. Yeah, I like the beta. Okay. Battlefield was already pre-ordered because it's a modern warfare type of thing. The delay, not too worried about it. But it was looking for the fun out of it. I'm more of a campaign guy, but 50 versus 50 type battle stuff or just all out war things, or I'm good with those. For me, the only real first person shooter that's going to be competing for screen time for me, being the casual Halo guy, is going to be Insurgency Sandstorm, which comes out in like a week or so. But that I'll have plenty of time to play that, get that out of my system before the Halo game drops. But with the flight coming next week, it's going to be a little bit tricky because I'm already signed up. I enjoyed the first flight playing against bots because, I'm being new to it. I would probably be a little salty considering how many times I would have probably got killed by other human players.
Well, they got that academy now too, so you can kind of ease your way in it.
Yeah. So with this flight with vehicles, hey, me being the getaway driver, give me the Warhog. I want to see how far that thing or how fast that thing can move with blown tires and whatnot. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this flight coming up. I agree with Joe. It's the perfect time for them to release this game, push this game, because free multiplayer. I mean, look how well they did for Apex. Look how well they did for Fortnite. I'm not saying that these are going to, or that Halo will reach those numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's going to definitely have the staying power, at least longer than like the normal shelf life beyond the
absolutely
traditional fan. So this is going to be fun next week, trying this thing out, trying the vehicles, trying Pelicans, trying the Warthogs, things like that. And yeah, December, it's all on track. Everything else seems to be falling apart. It's like, everybody wanted to pick at Halo about, not having the co-op or Forge and stuff like that, which, I understand. Some people are upset, but
yeah,
look at the other games that you would have to play as an alternative, which seem to be falling apart a little bit by a little bit each day. So I think Halo not having those things that they can roll in later, making sure that they got everything, smooth and worked out, I think is for the best instead of, postponing it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the flight next week. Plan to have fun. Anybody needs a getaway driver, hit me up.
Nice.
I'll be playing.
Nice. Well, see, he plays every game is Forza to Fuzz. Every game is Forza. He turns every game into Forza somehow. But
I'm
either
pretty
way,
sure I can run over other players. So yeah, I'll get my kills that way.
So let me go ahead and throw something back to you, Joe, because this idea just popped up in my head. We've talked about this multiple times here on the show, and I'm going to get to you in a second, Centurion, but I want to throw this by Joe real quick. Now, I brought up the idea that this is a long-term game. Now, what that means to me, Joe, as a Halo fan, a Halo stan, I'm thinking this opens up the idea that we may expand on the Halo universe outside of Chief. Like, we may get content, like, of stuff that went on outside of Chief. Like, imagine DLC from other installations and other incidents that went on in the Halo universe is as big as Star Wars universe.
Massive.
It's massive. So imagine the DLC coming down the line, Joe, being able to play with like Noble Team or some other team, someone just
like a flashback.
Oh, Joe, come on, Joe. So I just just to kind of expand on my point of like this long idea of a different type of Halo. Like, where are you at with that particular idea? Maybe just opening up the entire universe, like kind of like how Halo Star Wars is kind of larger than the just Master Chief story.
I am almost opposite of you, because to me, Halo's Master Chief's Halo, and every time 343 or even Bungie tries to go, let's tell this story without Chief. The fans are like, no, who's this Arbiter? No.
People love Reach. That was
I think Reach is the exception to the rule.
ODST has gotten better as time's gone on.
But I think Reach is the exception to the rule, where like the mission is, at the very end.
Yeah, it's kind of that one, I don't know if that one counts, Joe. That one may not count.
But and that's the thing. My favorite Halo is, while I say this as well, my favorite Halo is Reach. Multiplayer and everything. I love Reach, because I like, spoiler alert for like a 10-year-old game, I like when everybody dies. I like the sacrifice fly. That's what I like the most. That's what true heroes are all about. But no, like the Halo fan base likes to revolt at the idea of a Halo.
I don't know why. That's counterproductive, Joe. We don't do that with Star Wars. Then again, I guess Star Wars is a bit of a different situation. But I mean, we know how large this universe is, Joe. Like the Halo universe.
I understand. I think when we expand this game 10 years out, like the non-Master Chief stuff is the Halo stuff. It's what I think they could implement better is like, hey, multiplayer, like firefight, right? Like horde mode. It's your guy. It's your Spartan out there doing some crazy shit. Whereas like the story for the Master Chief and this 10-year idea, I'm interested in, because is he just gonna stay in that Zeta Halo? What's he gonna do? Is he gonna get out of there? Who's he going to continuously fight there? So that's where my brain goes ultimately. But to me, the story has to continue with Chief because the IP is in such a delicate state, I believe, that you can't deviate so much. It's kind of like it's a Force Awakens situation. Force Awakens showed you what Star Wars is at its core. It took the blueprint from the original and what I think improved upon it. And then immediately after they were like, and then after that they're like, hey, here's a story that doesn't really revolve around Vader, but wink wink nudge nudge, here he is. And then the third movie out of Disney was just like, we're going to take all the ideas about Star Wars and flip them on its head. And the fan base just revolted so much at that idea. I think what you need to do is have the blueprint, work with the blueprint for a while, and then slowly but surely introduce new ideas, new concepts, and new playable characters so that people... it's like a frog in hot water situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that's understandable as well. That's just the fanboy in me coming out. I get because once again we just the book from the books to the literature to other things that the world is so massive and the lore is always kind of what gets me, and that's kind of what kept me in like Destiny and games like that. Is the lore is what keeps people in those games, and I always wanted them to expand on the lore of Halo because it's just as rich, as a Star Wars or any other large universe like Avengers or something like that as well. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up with Centurion. So Centurion, Halo flight test coming up. So how excited are you for that?
Well, if I can first ask, is this like an open beta? Because you guys are all talking like you're all getting in.
Everybody's supposed to get in this time around, I believe. Correct, Joe? Is what they stated?
Anybody who is an insider gets in.
Okay, so there we go. Some clarification. I don't want to misspeak here.
So define, because as far as I know, I can't get in, and neither can a couple of people that I chat with. So
sign up for Insider Program.
There you go.
Xbox Insider Pro. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know.
Or the 343 Insider. I forget how I did it, but it's kind of like when you do your W-2s right before you do it. You start your new job. You don't know what the hell to do with that sheet. You've done it so many times before. You're like, wait, God, is it ones or zeros? Somehow we persevere,
So, but that's where, as far as I know, I don't believe I'm in the beta yet, but if I get in, that would be great. I will try to find time to get in if I find out I can get in. Am I looking forward to this game? Well, hell yeah. I mean, for me, my first experience of sitting down, hooking my console up to the internet and just blowing my mind out on a multiplayer game was Halo 3. I have some of the best experiences of online multiplayer still revolving around those experiences on Halo 3. And I am totally excited Halo 4 kind of was meh. Halo 5.
Why do people say that about 4? It was great. Halo 4 was a great game.
I'm not talking about the game being bad. I'm talking about, at least for the circle of friends that I had at the time, it went off like meh. Nobody was really playing it in my circle. So
what rubs people the wrong way about 4.
I
never understood that. Joe, as a fan of Halo, I never understood the hate for Halo 4. But I don't know.
I understand the dislike on the multiplayer end because it took way too much stuff out of Call of Duty and implemented it into Halo. When it comes to the story of Halo 4, it is the best Master Chief story, and I will fight anybody that says differently.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
No, I will agree with some of the best. Anytime I talk about Halo, some of the best footage you can actually clip would be from some like the cinematics of Halo 4.
Oh, it looked amazing. Dude, what they were able to do on a 360 with that game was ridiculous. That was the end of the generation. People give Naughty Dog credit for what they did with The Last of Us at the end of the generation. Man, what they did with Halo 4, that game looked bananas. It looked like a game that could have came out probably 5 or 6 years later and looked the same.
And now, because of what happened with how people truly felt about the multiplayer on Halo 4, when Halo 5 came around, I was the only one in my circle that was playing Halo at that point. I'm excited about how Halo Infinite now has people who gave up on the brand after Halo 3. They're actually wanting to look at it now. They're hearing about it being, forgive it. It is, the multiplayer is going to be free, but we also have the campaign appearing in Game Pass. There is a lot of hype and talk going on about this game, no matter where you go. Most social circles are talking about it, and everybody really is wanting to check out what Microsoft is going to offer for this game, because everybody, whether you like it or not, there's some nostalgia associated with this game. Everybody has a positive Halo experience revolving in their brain somewhere, and just being able to recapture that again, I really feel like Bad Bit said, is going to make a serious impact. And if Microsoft can keep that energy alive and really follow the path that they're talking about, where 3 months you're going to get this, another 3 months you're going to get that, and over here you're going to get this, so on and so forth, and they really just keep that hype train going for it. Now, I know during these times there's going to be some ups and downs. Nobody gets up to the plate and kind of knocks it out the park perfectly, but I just really hope they do what they have to do to keep that mind share alive. And I really I see Halo planning another flag in the ground stating that it is a staple franchise for the Xbox brand, and it can definitely help it grow if used properly.
And I agree. And I want before you get into it, Joe, I want to highlight something before we wrap this up. I know you're going to get into it, but another thing too is some of the things they're doing with this like battle pass system are almost unprecedented in that space. The way they're handling the battle pass, that's something no one else is doing. Being able to carry that over, not having to buy, you know what I'm saying? Like not missing out on a battle pass. You can kind of catch up on it, put your progress towards, specific ones, not having to rebuy it. Like that's really innovative. And that would start in Halo. Like you would think that would come from something like a Fortnite and they're really expanding some cool ideas. But go ahead, Joe.
No, to go off of what Centurion just said, I take a look at my brother, who is the most casual fan, who is a Star Wars diehard, and whatever Star Wars looks best on, he's gonna play on. So, like, for him, he was betrayed by Xbox back in the 360 era, so much so that he like me switched to PlayStation. But he is more militant than I. He will not touch Xbox because, again, you can only go through so many red rings until you mess with the wrong Dan, the wrong Daniel, and he kind of forsook, kind of brush it off. And I was showing him the Xbox showcase, which I thought was fantastic, the best showcase this year, and he wasn't impressed with it by any stretch. And he's just like, when does it get good? And then that's when the Halo Infinite stuff started popping off, and then right where they showed the samurai Spartan with the sword, right there, my brother's like, he's like, shit, I'm gonna have to buy an Xbox, huh? Like that is the power of Halo. It could literally take someone who has been turned off from the brand for over 10 plus years and go, okay, I'm in. A good showing that's all it takes, man.
True. Good point. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, man. Appreciate you guys. What's up, my guy Neo falling in the chat? Neo Game Spark. What's up, brother? Oh, he's giving you a quick shout out in there, Pong.
Oh, I see Neo. I see him. What's up, brother? Great to see you. He was already in the split screen this morning. So
nice.
Follow me around. He stopped me again.
Oh my! Every week now, man.
I know, man.
You got to get some security or something.
I got a super fan, crazy. Man.
Yeah, this is getting insane. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. We're gonna have to restructure your contract to add like security or something. I don't know. No, but So let's go ahead and just get into this next one now. This is more of a. I just want to show some appreciation here, Joe. We'll start with you. Obviously, we're talking a little bit of Deathloop. For whatever reason, Arcane, for some people, just it's so surprising, like to me, that people feel the way they feel about Arcane. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I've always loved Arcane games. I mean, Dishonored has always been amazing to me. They make some very unique games, and I've always loved the art style, how they handle stealth. They've always had this unique take on it, and I just want to give them their proper flowers, Joe, because people seem to be surprised that they could make a good game, and I just don't understand that energy, Joe, and I don't know where it came from. But I just want to make sure we give Arcane their flowers with Deathloop. Now, I haven't played the game. I don't own a PS5, unfortunately, or have a PC. But
Yeah.
Joe does. I know Fuzz does. Centurion does. So where you guys on one Deathloop? And then second half of the question is, it's about time we give Arcane their flowers.
Yeah, man. Listen, I was almost late to this show because I was playing the multiplayer hunting people down as Juliana. So like, I have to say this. I was given a code so you could take all my thoughts with a grain of salt. But yeah, this game's something else. I adore it. I love it a lot. This, I said it on the trophy room this week, and I'll say it again here. It's going to make the game of the year conversation so difficult this year for me.
Oh man.
The one thing that is interesting is because it's in this unique place where this is the last Arcane game we're going to see on PlayStation, which is a bummer. But it's one of the swan songs from Bethesda to PlayStation, and I want to congratulate both of them of handling it like champs.
Absolutely, yeah.
But fulfilling the contracts and not suing each other over them. It's nice. It's nice to see. But at the same exact time, you're seeing a lot of people. It's the fanboys of both have very unique takes about this game. Like, there are people that are the PlayStation fanboys. We call them the ponies, right? Which is a hilarious name. And they're like showing that they have a bug in this game, and they like clip it out and they're like, "Oh, really? This is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece." You know the people he's tweeting out. I don't need to repeat their names. And then like you have the Xbox people going, "Oh, this game's only reviewing high because it's a PlayStation game," which is also befuddling to me because this is now an Xbox studio. So essentially, the purchase that these Xbots have been bragging about for months, you're now shitting on this game that is made by an Xbox studio that you've been praising. So like, you see the mental gymnastics that people have been taking with this game to serve a side or a segment of an audience or pander to. Mm-hmm. So for me, I get this unique ability of just taking in this game for what it is. So like for the Xbox people that are like, this game's only reviewing high because it's a PlayStation game, well then like why don't we take a look at like Prey or like Dishonored 2 that scored similarly or the same? You know, when it comes to the PlayStation people out there showing the bugs to it, it's like, okay, well Ratchet and Clank was buggy, Returnal you can't save your game in Returnal. Like, you know, in Spider-Man there was a glitch where you became a trash can. Glitches happen in the age of this global condition that we're in right now. So, like, I give them the benefit of the doubt. For me, as someone who appreciates the hell out of Arcane, I think they are some of the most brilliant developers out there when it comes to level design. Few and far between can do it as well as they can. But I never finished their games because for me, I got a lizard brain, and there's always just something that happens while playing them that I go somewhere else. So this is the first Arcane game I've actually beaten to completion. And this is Arcane's take of a Hitman game. So if you love Hitman for what it is, this is a Hitman where you don't get penalties for killing people. You're encouraged to kill everyone. And that's the awesome thing is like, you know, I played for the most part like it's a James Bond flick, but there are moments where I was just like, you know what, let me go crazy with this automatic shotgun. Nice. And let me just go run around like a bull in a china shop type of deal. And it was like it gave me almost the momentum that I would in a Doom. So like this game really takes the whole mantra of play the way you like, and it actually is what it is. It's like play the way you like. Play whatever style you want. Play it sneaky or stealthy, or go balls to the wall and have a good time. I adore this game so much. And Arcane, again, wizards at what they have been able to achieve. And I think with this game, you know, Arcane is a studio that, though they make great games commercially, they're not rewarded for what they are capable of financially. And I'm happy that they're now in a situation with Microsoft that they get to stay weird. Like we saw the snippets of the Redfall like alpha that's going around there. I really do hope that this isn't a safe that Redfall isn't a safe bet. That it isn't just another looter shooter, that it is Arcane's take on what a looter shooter is. And that's what I want to see from Arcane is them continuing to be weird. And I hope with Game Pass, because the mantra is constantly developers get to make the games they want. I think that's going to be the real test if Arcane can keep that weirdness. But I am so happy with Deathloop right now, man. I'm hoping it's doing critically and commercially successful because it really does deserve all those things.
Oh no, absolutely, I 100% agree. And like I said, the main part of this was that I want to make sure we give them their just due, because both sides take away credit from what we actually should be focusing on. And this is the great goddamn game that Arcane just took their time to make. So yes. I agree with you 100%, Joe. I agree with you. Give these guys their flowers, ladies and gentlemen, their flowers for making this fantastic game, because that quote you just made about them kind of punching above their weight consistently is absolutely true, and people don't even realize it. They've always kind of punched above their weight considering the budget, considering the style of games, which are kind of quirky. It's their own style that they make, are very unique. So this is really, really cool to see with the backing. And this is, once again, this is another feather in Xbox's cap as far as the haul that they got. Yeah. I mean, that haul may end up looking a lot better than we initially thought.
Honestly, dude, like for all the Xbox people out there that are like, oh, this game, it's only reviewing as high. I would be cheering it on because, like, yeah, this game's going to come out probably in a year or two from now. And guess what? I'm going to be playing it for, hopefully it's still at the $15 a month. Like, I'm playing it for as low as $10 a month. Like, you should be cheering for this. This is awesome news for you. I beta tested your game. You're going to have a good game. So, I think we're all winners here,
Absolutely. Let's go and throw this over to you, Fuzz.
Oh man, I'm enjoying this game, but I hit a major bug, and I know I'm going to lose some time on it. But I've encountered that with an invasion that I wasn't prepared for. But man, I was kind of lukewarm on this game because I'm not normally the play it stealth all the way through, kind of like Dishonored. Although you can go loud in some instances, but I'm so glad I wound up picking up this game because I think the biggest thing for me was, yes, you can explore. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone, but there's just so many options on how you can go about completing the missions and things like that, and the abilities that you can gain from the assassinations and stuff like that. And like I said, with the bug I encountered, I've already killed all the agents. Haven't done it in a single day, but I wound up getting some powers that, like Joe was saying, where you got the automatic shotgun. There's an ability that can piggyback with that just makes it so much better. But I went into the menu just before I left, or was getting ready to leave a region, and it's locked in that menu. So I'm pretty sure everything from that set of that day or that repeat of that day is pretty much toast. But luckily, they have an infusion type of deal with this being like a roguelike type game. I think the biggest thing is I'm always nervous on those types of games, but this one has so much to it that if roguelikes aren't normally your thing, this is still definitely worth a try. And me having both consoles, but my preference being Xbox, I encourage anybody that doesn't have a PS5 and has a PC that can run current games, give it a try. And if not, patiently wait a year. There's plenty of stuff that's going to be playable in the meantime.
Yeah.
But this game, I promise you, is really worth the wait if you don't have a PS5 or the option on PC. This is a nice gem, and kind of like what Babbitt was saying. It's like, Xbox need to praise this because potentially we're going to get a part 2 or a continuation of a similar Ideal or something along those lines.
Redfall is next year. I know it's not the same Arcane Studio exactly, but I mean they're all under the same umbrella.
Right.
So
Yeah.
And I wasn't normally like a Dishonored guy, but Prey, hopefully there's a Prey 2 at some point. That was a game that I slept on originally, and then they had like a Bethesda sale. This was before the acquisition. I'm so glad I picked that up. But this is, I would say I'm more hooked to this than I was with Prey. And man, I really want a Prey 2 type of deal. So this is a gem right here.
Yeah. And honestly, to piggyback off of what you said, Fuzz, when you get to kill all of them, it very much gives you Shaun of the Dead vibes, where they're talking about what their plan is to get to the pub. It's like, okay, save our girlfriend. All right, then kill Philip. Sorry, Philip. And then go to the Winchester and have a pint. Like, that is literally, it's like, all right, on the next one, on the next one, on the next one. That's what the feel is like. It's so cool, the evolution of this game once you truly understand and explore at each level, where you get to the end and a level that would once take you 40 minutes to clear takes you 4. It's like, I'm really getting this game now.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's super rewarding too. We love to feel that feeling in video games. So no, for sure. So let's go and throw this over to you, Pong. Get your opinion on Deathloop. And once again, I mean, the whole topic is really just to highlight Arcane and the great work that they do at the end of the day. Me and Joe have said it. We've stated it. He's the first one that brought it up. Very underrated studio, just from a lot of people's perspective, for whatever reason. I don't know what other people have been playing, Joe. I'm not sure, but they make phenomenal games and have been doing it for a very long time consistently. Multi-plat games more so than anything, but yeah. So let's go and get this over to you, Pong. Just get your opinion on. I don't know if you've played it. I don't think you have a. Do you have a PS5 yet, Pong?
No. I
you
sold
do.
my
Okay.
digital when I pre-ordered it, so
That's right,
I don't.
that's right.
Yeah.
But just in general, as far as people don't. And Joe highlighted this a little bit too, and this is a great point, Joe. This is money in the bank for Xbox. All this goodwill, this is for Xbox too. Like they're like, oh yeah, please, all them good reviews, please send them this way. Like, please, like they're not. Phil is not sitting at the office upset about 90 Metacritics or whatever. Like who cares about Metacritic? But ultimately, all of the good praise, he's not upset about that. He's doing cartwheels this morning, I'm sure. So that speaks to the bigger picture. But go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. So this is going to be a long year wait for me. I am an Arcane fan, so I am jealous that I don't get FOMO very much. I've pretty much cured myself of FOMO. It's very rare that I get it. But this one right here, since I am an Arcane fan, since I love what they do, this is definitely going to be a long year wait for me. But that being said, this is fantastic. Shout out to everyone at Arcane Lyon. That studio was going to be, or had a very high potential of being closed down if the ZeniMax acquisition did not go through. We may never have gotten this game. Now, it certainly could have been moved to Austin. They could have finished it or whatever the case may be had that all happened. But at the end of the day, that purchase, that acquisition by Xbox, Microsoft, allows them to continue forward. And this is the fruits of that, like Joe was pointing out. This is what you get. The Arcane is one of the most creative studios out there going right now. And for them to not be able to do what they do would be a travesty to this industry. I think like Joe was pointing out, they're always a critical success. All their games are critical successes, but they haven't had the commercial success. And I don't know if Deathloop is going to change that pattern. I don't know if it's going to, but I don't know if it needs to. Arcane games have this weird, like trying to look at it and try to figure out why that is. Arcane has this weird deal where their games, their mechanics are so unique in a lot of ways, and their style is so unique when it comes to their games. They don't fall into like the classic classification system of a game. Like they have so many different variables in their games. It never fits like one genre. Like it's a mix of genres when you play their games. And I think that's why it never appeals to the masses, because we've seen it. Arcane games I know people who love like certain like stealth games, right? But they don't like Dishonored. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But when you really look at it, like I said, with the mixture of mechanics that they use, the unique abilities that they always implement, I think that's why they have this problem. If you look at Deathloop, and again, I haven't got my hands on, but I've watched plenty of people play it now. I've read tons of stuff on it. So this game turned out to be much bigger, much more involved than I thought just by seeing those trailers. I was sick of the trailers. I'm going to be honest. We had seen too much Deathloop, but I don't think those trailers did this game any justice from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing out there. Because I don't think it gave a good idea of what this game was going to be all about. I really thought this game was much more linear than it is. I thought this game was much more closed circuit. I thought it was much more a timing kind of game where you had to get the exact enemy locations down and you were kind of repeating that loop through almost a runner style kind of game when I was watching the videos where you have to kind of, just learn the patterns to get through the level. That's not what this game is at all. And so I think that's why we don't see the commercial success out of Arcane. But again, at the end of the day, like for me personally, I say MetaHu just because for me personally, reviews don't matter. I can look at it. I can look at a 60 game and say, hey, that interests me, play it, love the hell out of it. And I could care less that it's a 60, right? So for me, it doesn't matter. But I think this does highlight why reviews are so important. And I've had rants on other shows about what I think that we could do the review process to make it better because devs are also paid well for high reviews. And I think we need to get some kind of standardized system. And this shows off why reviews still are so important. Because as much as everybody would like to say MetaHu and everybody would like to say, hey, I'm my own gamer, when a game is critically successful and everybody's I know there was some dissenting voices out there and there's still some people questioning why it got such high scores. But when you have a mass amount of reviewers review a game very well, I think this is what it does. All of a sudden, people that were dismissing this game now went out and got this game because they want to see what the hubbub is all about. Those middling games, those games that get some good reviews, some bad reviews, those are the games that get lost where you should never judge it by the review. You should look at the game, look at videos and see if it appeals to you, try it and make your own judgment. But for games that are highly rated, that games that are universally praised, I think this is where that becomes important again, because again, that word of mouth gets spread far and wide. And all of a sudden you got, again, I know people personally who are absolutely not interested in this game, have never liked an Arcane game before. So they had already put it off and said, I'm not picking it up. Went out and bought it day one, right? Because they heard all the reviews. They were reading all this good, positive feedback, and they went out and got to try it for themselves to see what it was all about. That's the positive part of reviews that they can have. They can push people that are on the fence or completely dismissive to the point where they actually go try something that they may never have touched before. So, that was a huge win. And again, it does. You were just talking about PTK as far as Phil, doing backflips and stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. Again, we always like to say because the circus comes to town all the time and tells us how their games are so highly rated and Xbox has got no highly
Twitter
rated
spaces going.
They got the Twitter spaces going. How long it's been since Xbox has a Game of Year contender. All that kind of garbage that we hear.
Paul, can I be honest? I'm gonna be so happy when
Joe.
Like real talk. Psychonauts wasn't for me, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna be so excited when we see Psychonauts and Deathloop for the game of the years this year.
Dude.
Like absolutely.
I think Psychonauts 2 for me is I don't it's runaway to me. Like I don't know. Yeah. So
it's got a great chance.
It's
got a great chance.
It's so funny because I posed this question months ago and people laughed it off like ha ha ha. There's no chance that this game is anywhere near a game of
the year. Yep, absolutely. But no, that's important to a company, right? That's important to a dev team. Again, the devs being the most important because they are human beings, which people forget all the damn time. They are humans who pour their heart and soul into these things. Mm-hmm. And the awards may not be important to me. The awards may not be important to my neighbor down the street. But guess what? The devs at the end of the day, to have that trophy or to have that nomination in their wheelhouse, on their applications, on their resumes, that is a big, gigantic deal. And it's a big, gigantic deal for Xbox overall to be able to put on the cover when Deathloop launches next year. Right? When Deathloop launches, they are going to be able to put all over the Xbox covers, all over Game Pass, all over the advertisements, Game of the Year contender. They're going to be able to put 10 out of 10. They're going to be able to put 9 out of 10. They're going to be able to market the hell out of that success and use that, again, as another piece of content, highly rated, coming into Game Pass day and date when it launches on Xbox, that people can just go ahead and download and play. That is a beautiful thing. It's a win-win for everybody when these scenarios come across. But again, to go back to the original point of this, Arcane Leon deserves to exist. They did not deserve to be on the chopping block like they were. The acquisition saved that team, and is why I always say that acquisitions at the end of the day are good, not hostile takeovers. That's not what I'm talking about, but mutual acquisitions that want to be done at the end of the day can be a net good for everybody involved, because now, like Joe said, there is no more worry for these teams. Just like we saw with Double Fine, Psychonauts 2 would not have been the game that it is without that acquisition. Right. They already came out and said flat out there would not have been boss battles in that game, right? The bosses would have been cut. That would have been a completely different experience if it had not been for the acquisition with Xbox. And so that's what you see when you see extremely talented people, creative people that don't no longer have to worry about the business side of things. And this is a cutthroat industry. Make no mistake about it. One bad step can cost your entire studio. Now they no longer have to worry about that. They are safe. They understand that bills are paid, families are taken care of. They don't have to worry about that job tomorrow. They just get to sit and do what they do best, which is give us a phenomenal game. And Deathloop showed up, and that's why we have it today. And I'm so happy for it and happy for that entire team.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion. I don't know if you've played it yet. I know you have a PS5 already, so I don't know if you played Deathloop, but just where you at, just on the opinion. Have you seen, the reviews? Just the critical success has been getting around the community. Like I said, I don't have a PS5 yet, so I haven't gotten a chance to play it, but I have watched a couple YouTube videos of people playing it. Game looks super unique, but one thing I always expect that out of Arcane either way. But go ahead, Centurion.
So, no, I have not played it yet. I was actually going to go out this weekend and get it. I have yet to actually buy a PS5 game at full price. I've always been dancing around that whole situation, and Arcane Studios might have me come down off my soapbox on that whole situation. Best way to describe Arcane Studios, they are a stealth studio. That every game that I have played from them creeps up on me, and I enjoy it. It's never really on Dishonored was not really on my radar. Heard some stuff about it, played the game, enjoyed it. I have the Dishonored 2 Collector's Edition mask sitting up on top of my entertainment center. Prey, another game that to me, I was just like, I want to check this game out. I played it, totally had so much fun with it. It was like almost feeling those feelings you got when you played BioShock for the first time when you play Prey. And that was I loved, for me, it was the moment we got in Prey and they explained that there is different ways of tackling every situation. Like, oh, well, you could go through the air duct, or you could do this, or you could do that. And it was like having that freedom to just figure out how you wanted to tackle that situation that was going on. I am very excited to be able to really want to check out Deathloop. I've been watching a few videos on it. I completely thought this game was something else. I forget, I believe it was Pong that said that, where you thought the game was going to be totally different, and now that you're watching it being played, you can actually get a little bit more outside of the trailers. I couldn't stand the trailers myself. Hitman kind of hit it right on the head for me. I like the fact of how it was loading in and just figuring out the situation. I have enjoyed Hitman, currently trying to get to Hitman 3. I need to really check out Deathloop now. This game definitely is on my radar at this point. I have heard a lot of people talking about it. don't need to go to MetaWho. I have big issues with Metacritic. I don't believe anybody's bonuses should hinge on other people's opinions. That's just my personal preference. I think if the game does well, it sells well. There's some analytics there, but I believe there was one article that there was people attempting to try to review bomb Deathloop. So that's one reason why I have a big issue with places like Metacritic, because one thing with Metacritic that Metacritic never does is they never review a game twice, unless it's like a collector's edition, a director's cut. Basically, there's a loophole to the rule because it's a new game, air quotation marks. But I don't like the fact that sometimes Metacritic can't, like, if we really go off of, we'll use Cyberpunk for an example, the review probably for them on Metacritic is horrible. If Metacritic was to go now and review that game based on the product now, I'm pretty sure maybe that score might change a little bit. And that's where I believe Metacritic, the review system itself, needs to definitely be restructured a little bit. But back onto Deathloop, I'm excited. I'm glad Arkane once again has created another stealth game that goes below everybody's radar, and now all of a sudden is popping up, and everybody needs to check this out. I really see a lot of people picking this game up for around Black Friday holiday season, because we're probably going to see some discounts on it, and people are going to really want to grab this game. And I really see it as one of the top performers this holiday season.
All right. And that's going to wrap that topic up. So let's go ahead and move on to the last topic, man. We appreciate you guys hanging up. We're going to wrap this thing up, man, pretty soon, but we're having a ton of fun in here, and hope you guys are as well, tuning in at home. So last topic, we're going to keep this one light, Joe. We're going to end the show a little light, okay? And this is more just kind of like what's going on with you, where you at? So, what does the rest of 2021 look like as far as a gaming perspective for you, Joe? I understand. You play PlayStation Trophy Room. We got the tag on it. We got to make sure we understand, where things really are at. So PlayStation Trophy Room, so we know we're there. But just for being in totality, where are you at for your gamer's perspective for the remainder of the year?
Oh man, okay. So I'm happy that I beat Deathloop. I'm going to try my best to get as much as that plat as I can. So I feel like I could spend an afternoon and get pretty close to the platinum.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is on Tuesday, I believe Kena comes out.
Yeah,
Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
That game's gonna get me. I hope it reviews well. I hope
not a lot of like pub on the game.
You know what? That's the one thing that upset me during the showcase. Is like, dude, how many times are we gonna see Deathloop? Could we have seen one more thing of Kena?
I expected Kena at the showcase. I really did, like another trailer or some more gameplay.
That is the thing that worries me. But hopefully this game does great. I want it to do really, really great. That studio's incredibly talented. They've made my favorite short video or film of all time, which is the Majora's Mask video. So like they instantly had a fan in me, whether this thing was coming out on PlayStation or like the, I don't know, like Atari 2600, I would buy that game. So yeah, Kena is in September, so I'm going to be hopping on that. Depending on how coverage looks like for the trophy room, we're going to probably be playing Far Cry 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're going to probably be doing that. We'll be also playing Alan Wake, small little ditty. Again, this is a game that is beloved from the 360 era. Apparently, this one doesn't come with American Nightmare. I was gonna say Undead, right? Is it American? Whatever.
It's Nightmare.
Yeah,
it's American Nightmare.
But yeah, I'm very interested because I loved Control, and I want, knowing that this game may be in the same universe. All right, slight spoilers. It is. You know what it is? It is. You had like 2 years. Settle down. So that said, I'm very interested of getting into it and knowing it's going to be aged a bit because of, it's a 360.
Did you ever play it originally, Joe?
No.
Oh, lucky you, brother. Lucky you.
I'm so jealous, man.
I used to work at GameStop, and my one buddy's like, dude, you got it. When we get a used used copy of Alan Wake, you got to play it. We never got a used copy of it.
Wow.
People love that game, man. They bought it. They stuck with it. So that's pretty much what my October is going to look like, as well as Solar Ash, because we haven't seen much of that game either, if that still sticks in October. Riders Republic, if I get a code, I'm not going to really stress it out that much. Kyle really, really dug it.
I heard great things about that game. K Mega, shout out to K Mega, played a ton of it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know why?
Kyle loved it as well.
You want to know why? Did you play it, Joe, at all?
No.
Okay.
I forget I think this is when I was actually just starting my job. But
Ubisoft did the best thing ever that they could have done. They flat out ripped off Forza Horizon's strategy. That's exactly what they did, and they put it into extreme sports. When you look at the map, it's the same. Like, even some of the icons will remind you of Forza Horizon. Like, I downplayed the game. I wasn't getting to download the demo, and I was like, whatever. And then everybody kind of kept saying, nah, you got to try it out. It's really good. I downloaded it. I popped it in. Like, after I got through the whole tutorial and the map opened up, and I'm like, this is freaking Extreme Sports Horizon. That's exactly what this is to a T, and that's why everybody loved it. A fantastic idea. I'm not going to take anything away from them. But that's why it is great. Actually, I actually enjoyed myself.
That's awesome to hear. I am interested, but the thing is, a few days after, we're going to get Forza Horizon, and I'm not a big. I used to not be a big racing fan. I played Dirt 5 on PlayStation 5 over the last few weeks. I loved it. Like it. There's something. You know, I'm a big fan of the DualSense controller. Everybody knows it. I loved how cars just vroom vroom and braked on that controller. I want to know what those little rumbles in the triggers, if those are still in the Xbox, how this game's going to feel with the absence of the haptics. But what that game looks like is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen in my life. Like that. There's the skybox, the terrain actually should be illegal. That this game looks this incredible.
Horizon 5?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it just looks so good. So that's my November. That's when I dust off my Xbox. It's gonna get some good playtime with Forza, and then I'm gonna be playing Battlefield. Rain or shine.
Yeah.
That game is mine. I love Battlefield. Battlefield is, guys, I'll take you through any Battlefield. Throw me in the octagon. I'm coming out with body bags of my victims.
Nice.
Let me tell you. Battlefield 3, my most beloved Battlefield. Doesn't matter what platform. Like, I was rocking like 3.5 KD constantly in that game. I'm really good at Battlefield. So I love that game so very much. Let's hope and pray. And then last but not leastly, once Halo comes out, it's over. Pack your bags, everybody.
Are you closing up the trophy room on that day? Or are you just going to be like, that's it?
No,
it's been a great run.
Here's the thing. There are 2 episodes I'm already working on. It is the Game of the Year stuff. I actually just started doing that. Nice. And then whenever Halo comes out, it's going to probably end up being a special episode of the Achievement Hall, an Xbox show inside of a PlayStation podcast.
How dare you?
Oh,
how dare you? Wow. For the higher achievers.
Does your Pegasus Nation contract burn up on the spot? Is that what happens? It ignites as soon as you do that?
Here's the thing. I've heard
it's going to be like one of those moments you see someone get raided on stream. You're just going to see the door come down, a flashbang go off.
A bunch of horse mask people roll in.
Yeah. I don't know where this Pegasus Nation has come from.
Oh, you know where it comes from.
The origin of it. I have a vague idea, Pong, where it comes from. There's
a website.
Stop. Is there really?
Yes, there is.
No.
Oh my god.
Sad people online. But yeah, so, Pegasus Nation's going to come take me out. the little what is it, My Little Pony, right? Like badges on them.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, so that's what. Look, 2021 is going to be a whole lot of games from here till then, Yeah, someone asked us on the last episode of, is there a game that could theoretically, what's your game of the year right now? Can it hold until the end of the year? And since it's a PlayStation show, I can't say Halo, but I did anyway. But for me, for me, it's just like, it really just comes down to, I'm expecting big things from Kena, and I'm expecting great things from Halo. And that's really where it comes down to for me. But I'm going to be busy this holiday season, man. I got a lot to play.
Nice. That's what I love to hear, man. So I love the variety. There's a lot going to be out there to play. I do agree with Halo. I just think that it's going in such a different, like, uncharted territory. It's rejuvenated rekindled that fire for Halo. Not that it went anywhere. You know, it was a little dim because I don't want to ride that train because I've always had the deep love for Halo. That's never went anywhere. But ultimately, it's kind of rekindled that fire for Halo, and I just know it's going to be amazing. I'm not even worried about the campaign. I'll be honest with you, Joe. Like as much as people, that little tip that they gave us, Joe, I was tearing up, Joe.
Yeah, I believe it. Video games are powerful.
I'm trying to tell you. So just on that little snippet, if we get anything along those lines as far as like character development, like, oh yeah, I'm all the way in there.
Bro, when the weapon's like, you only have one bullet, he's like, it's enough. It's like, oh, let's go. Let's go. Yes.
So no, I expect huge things from that game. So all right, let's go ahead and just throw this over to you, Fuzz. We're the 2021, man. We're wrapping this thing up in a few months here. But where are you at? What's the gaming landscape look like? I didn't even throw you the acquisition season stuff, Joe. I tried to spare you.
You could do it. You could talk about the acquisition, gang. Look, I'll say it right now. Maybe on Monday we'll see something, but when we see it, then we'll talk about it. Because what's it gonna be, guys? What's it gonna be? Right? It's like. It's Ubisoft, it's EA, it's Sega, it's WB, it's WB. Like, it's like, okay, what happens after?
Yeah.
It's all guesses. It's all like he said, she said, you know?
Well, you'll be happy to know, Joe, that another article came out from VGC this morning that Sony's movie boss said that it is acquisition season and that there is no better place. And so there's nobody in a better position than Sony, and Sony will also be doing it. So guess what? Acquisition season's open for everybody. Let's go.
Guess what?
Let's go.
Sony Pictures is run by a bunch of morons.
Even they recognize, Joe. Even they recognize.
Yeah, and they made Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, like, they're... no.
They don't get that, Joe. You're not giving them any leeway.
No, I'm very much of the same energy. Like, honestly, when it comes to acquisitions, I teased it before. Purchase individual studios that don't get enough shine. I get scared of big companies getting bigger and buying out competition. I think I said this, I forget on what podcast, but it's like, can we think of a company that is not owned by Microsoft, Google, or Apple, that is a tech-based company that is on the same level of those others, right? That are competing head-to-head. That neither company... You really can't. The only ones that come to mind, Spotify, Netflix. That's it. Yeah. And that is it's a scary world when people are like, yeah, we just got to be okay with the fact that like 4 companies are going to run games. I'm like, that's a scary thought. You're giving them way too much power to do whatever they want. Oh no. So that's what I'm saying. Like, my whole thing is like, yeah, like, I'd love to see the Kena devs get bought out by a Sony or a Microsoft and give them the cash and give them the keys to the car and say, here you go. Now make the game you want.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But when I see, a company like, let's just say, just throwing names and throwing names out there. But like to see a PlayStation go out there and buy a Ubisoft, that sucks. I don't like that because you're just seeing dozens of studios and IP that are beloved and now they're locked away simply because of a contract rather than feeling earned. and feeling like this was built from the ground up. It's what makes, to me, it's what makes, companies like Nintendo so special. Is like, we don't talk about Nintendo having to buy anybody because they make some of the best IP ever because they've built them from the ground up.
But it's also a double-edged sword, and it's made Nintendo complacent.
Well, and here's the thing: the beauty of that is, I would argue that they're not complacent for the simple fact of, like, take a look at Animal Crossing, whatever it's called, 35 million units of that game, one platform. It's nuts, right?
That's insane.
Take a look at Breath of the Wild, which is like $6-7 million, whatever, 6-7 million units sold. That has changed the way developers look at open world games, and Mario platformers are just the gold standard. The thing that is complacent about Nintendo is how they view online connectivity is stupid and it's nonsense.
How they view their customers.
That too. So, like, to me, that's where acquisitions are worrisome. It's not to say like, oh, I'm sad that Bethesda's gone. It's like, I have an Xbox. I'll play the Bethesda game on the Xbox. I'm just concerned about companies getting bigger and bigger, and that's just the hippie in me, man. That's just the Occupy Wall Street in me.
Too big to fail?
Yeah.
Yes. Dude, God. Like, real talk. There are only like 4 real TV companies out there.
Yeah.
Like network television. You think you're going to get whatever you think is truth out there? Absolutely not. Like, it's nuts. That is absolutely crazy. To think that there are actually like maybe 4 major food companies out there. Like, it's nuts. Like, these it's crazy. It's a little bit scary, and I don't like it that much. That's all I gotta say on this.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I get to everybody on this phone. Did I get to you?
No, did Fuzz even get an answer? I don't think Fuzz even got an answer out of that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll keep my list kind of quick because there's so many games that I'm probably going to forget in this, but right off the bat, I think in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a toss-up between Kena and Insurgency Sandstorm. Those are going to be my big 2. When I feel like just shooting stuff aimlessly, well, not aimlessly, but just having fun with that and getting back into my prior service mindset, Insurgency Sandstorm is going to be my go-to. And Kena, I've always liked the aesthetic or the look of that game. And I can't wait to give that game a try. And I'll probably have to get my SSD expansion SSD for my PS5 now. After that, I think in October, I don't have it pre-ordered yet because I'm debating on if I'm going to do it on Xbox because I have my steering wheel on Xbox, but I can also put that on my PC. But I think I'm going to wind up getting NASCAR 21 Ignition on PC just because back in the day when I first got into PCs, I used to do a lot of the paint schemes and things like that and tweak the AI to make it where they have their qualifying times are identical to like the upcoming week's race type of thing. So I'm probably going to fall into that game hole for a bit, but also already got what do you call them? Battlefield pre-ordered. Depending on what the kids say, we'll see about Call of Duty. Halo's already preloaded, and my biggest one probably for this year is going to be Horizon 5, already preloaded. I'm only missing 2 cars for 4, so you know how no lifing it I'm gonna be doing with Horizon 5. And oh, by the way, if Joe, if you need any tunes for your cars, anything that'll be like off and on road type of thing, hit me up.
Now. We know.
But yeah, Forza that's going to be my big game for to end the year out. But definitely going to be having fun with some Halo. Definitely going to be having fun with some of the multiplats. I haven't pre-ordered what do you call it yet? Far Cry 6 just yet, but that's more than likely going to be my go-to. Giancarlo Esposito, yeah, that already sold the game for me pretty much.
Same.
Yeah, I just got to figure out You know, if I'm going to buy 2 copies, because like I said, with having 2 kids and how, depending on how interested both of them are, game share with one, and then the other one has his own like Game Pass account. So that way, kind of until they come out with a family plan. But yeah, there's just so much, and I know I'm probably forgetting about 10 other smaller games.
Yeah.
Like Sable, I think comes out here soon on Game Pass
Next week.
Yeah.
What about Skatebird? Is Skatebird out or is
Yep, Skatebird's out.
Nice.
Skatebird, yeah. I know. Well, I already got Sifu pre-order, but that's not until February. There's something else on my PlayStation
What
I
was it?
pre-ordered. I can't remember right now. But yeah, there's just backlog dilemmas that they're definitely going to be popping up these next couple of months. So yeah, but it's those are my go-tos for right now. Like I said, I'm probably forgetting a few others, but yeah, that's what I got.
All right, so Pong, where you at going forward, man? What's the roadmap look like for you?
Man, do you remember when people were saying 2021 was looking light?
Man, that is hilarious.
And just wait for 2022 and 2023. Oh my God, this is the golden age of gaming. This is the best time of the year.
Oh.
Joe, I'm going to need you to remove your headphones for a second, sir, because I'm going to dive first into another off-limit topic for you. Diablo 2 next week is going to be fire. I have been waiting on this for a very long time. Now I will continue with what I have decided to do. I know this is a very controversial topic of whether or not to buy anything from Activision Blizzard. I have decided that I'm going to continue to support the good people that are there, that cannot leave, that have other considerations. But I will say that every time I bring up one of their games or talk about them, Steele and I have this arrangement on split screen, so I'll continue to hear that. I will remind everybody, we will not forget. A lot of people have forgotten Ubisoft's problems already. We will not forget Activision Blizzard, what they're going through. So for anybody who does not know or does not remember already, again, they are under multiple lawsuits for some very heinous activity. They have allowed a culture to grow within that organization that should not be anywhere. They have allowed a culture to treat human beings as non-humans, and done some very despicable things, certain people within that company, and that needs to stop, and the lawsuits will take care of that, hopefully, and hopefully more pressure will be put on so that the people at the top will be taken care of. Bobby Kotick needs to go. So that is my rant on that, but I am looking forward to Diablo 2 next week. That is a huge game, and I can't wait. And then moving on from that, look, it gets really good. We've got Back for Blood coming. Back for Blood, I'm going to be all over that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot.
Yep, coming into Game Pass. I am a budget gamer, as many people here know. So I have not budgeted out. Well, I did have budgeted, but things kind of shifted around here. But I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to purchase the Ultimate Edition or wait for a little bit. But no matter what, I get it in Game Pass. So Back for Blood is going to be an absolute phenomenal game, and I can't wait. We've got smaller games like oh God, it just slipped my mind. Astria Ascending, which is a small JRPG game made by a small company that has hired some of the biggest names from the old days of JRPGs. I cannot wait to get my hands on that one. Of course, Forza Horizon 5 is going to be huge for the end of 2021. I will, and again, I already said it, Battlefield, I will be there day one, just like Joe. I am pre-ordering the big edition. Battlefield is the my number one that I did not want to move into 2022, but Battlefield is going to take up a lot of my time, and crossing fingers and hoping that they pull it off, and they pull it off right. I cannot have another Battlefield 5 debacle on my hands. I just can't live through another Battlefield bug-filled just mess when it comes out. They've got to hit this one. This one has the potential to be the biggest one yet. This has the potential to actually turn into a platform in a lot of ways where we continuously get updates for this Battlefield. There's so many different ways they can go with this. I see the vision. Now I just need to see the execution. So I'm hoping that all hands on deck is going to make this game right. I still do have my concerns, but ooh, I'm such a big Battlefield. Battlefield is what turned me into a first-person shooter fan. I know a lot of people here had that experience with Halo. Again, I experienced Halo differently. I did not own the original OG Xbox. I had friends who did. I experienced it that way. It never grabbed me the way that Battlefield, when Battlefield hit and I started playing, man, that was the first time I got really, really highly competitive in a first-person shooter. Battlefield was my go-to game. Like Joe, Stone Cold Killer, team player here. That's why I like it so much more than I like COD, because you get rewarded for actually being a team player. KD ratio does not matter as much as it does in COD. There's so many more factors that go into.
Joe is a sweat. Come on now.
Yep. Joe is a sweat. But again, you need those players as well. But everybody gets rewarded as long as you are playing the way you're supposed to be playing. And
what class do you play, Pong?
I usually play medic. Yep. I usually play medic. Medic's my favorite. But again, any support class, I'm all about it. That's what I love. Tank killing. I love sniper hunting. That's my favorite thing to do, is to grab them tags from snipers. There is no better feeling. I don't care. There's been games where you can grab. There's been plenty of games where you can grab dog tags from them. There's no better feeling than when you get that kill in Battlefield, man.
It is just the greatest name right there.
Oh, God, it is just fantastic.
So good.
Collector. I love that shit. Battlefield is what I'm all about. Obviously, when Halo drops, I'm going to be, I'll be playing Halo for sure. Again, it's not my number one, but I still enjoy the hell out of it, especially with other people. I was super bummed about the no co-op. I was looking forward to that. But at the end of the day, the multiplayer experience with everybody in this community, because there are so many huge Halo fans around, that it's going to be fantastic. I will have a blast in there. What else we got in there? We got, you know what? I'm proud to say I have not bought Skyrim since 360. I am proud to say that. That's going to end in November.
Damn.
So I am going to buy this special anniversary edition. So I am going to jump back into Skyrim. I have decided that. It's been long enough. I haven't purchased any other ones. I popped it in just to look at it on Series X and that kind of stuff. Did not start playing it when they announced this, and all the mods are going to be in there, and I've seen what the mods can do. I'm jumping back into Skyrim. I'm going to experience it all over again. So that's going to be another off the wall kind of big one for me this year as well. But again, we've got so many smaller titles. Chorus is a game a lot of people forgot about, that kind of space, really fast-paced shooter that is still on pace. They just had a launch trailer for Stadia, of all things, and it still said 2021. We don't have any definitive stuff. That's at Chorus. Go look it up.
No. What's Stadia?
I know what Stadia, right? Yeah, exactly. So, I'm looking forward to that one as well. Scorn is still supposed to be coming out this year, and then the Gunk. The Gunk is huge on my list. I can't wait for it. And I'm looking forward to when that drops as well. But man, there's so many damn games right now. It's insane. I just can't believe it. So, looking at a good end of the year run. Chernobyl Light, if anybody's looking for that Metro fix in the meantime, while we're all waiting for Stalker 2, check out Chernobyl Light. That is releasing this week. Actually, I think it's this week. Chernobyl Light is another one in that mold. Great looking game from a studio who has experience with those. So Chernobyl Light is another one to look forward to. But yeah, man, it's great, man. It's just a great time to be a gamer, man. It really is. Best time. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and throw this over to Centurion before we wrap up the show here, man. We want to make sure we get your brother. Just your end of the year wrap up, kind of where you see your calendar at and what games you're playing going forward for 2021.
Man, where could I start? My backlog is about 4 miles long, but let's see. Right now, next week, I have the big expansion coming out for World War Z Aftermath. Me and my friends are really looking forward to that. I mean, we enjoyed World War Z when it first came out. We're looking forward to the expansion now. It's definitely going to be some good, fun times. Then we get in October. Of course, we've got Far Cry 6. I'm going to be there. I've been a big Far Cry fan since Far Cry 2. I've played a vast majority of them. I like the games. I've never really complained about some of the stuff in them. I enjoyed The Father. New Dawn was definitely an interesting take on Far Cry. Then we go into November. We got Forza, Battlefield. I'm probably going to end up getting sold on that. I got some friends that have already pre-ordered it, so I'm probably going to end up getting into Battlefield once again. I remember buying Battlefield 1 and all these other. I remember also buying Battlefield 5 and the game. There's more interest, at least now, for at least the social group I have, that they are excited over this new Battlefield game than any of the previous Battlefields for the last 2 iterations. So I'm looking forward to being able to finally tackle some good multiplayer with my friends playing a Battlefield game. Then we get into, obviously, Halo. It was tragic about Dying Light 2 being pushed to February. We also
had to get out the way. It had to get out the way. There was no way. It wasn't going to survive.
I could not blame it. Could you imagine, like, you got Dying Light 2 standing there next to Master Chief, and it's like Master Chief looks up, I only got 1 bullet. So, anyways, but we also can't forget we got some titles like Guardians of the Galaxy, October. I'm hoping that game really. I'm gonna be blunt. I was a little disappointed on the PlayStation showcase that they didn't get into very much gameplay. Square Enix is involved in a Marvel game once again. I need some details. I need to see what's going on here because regretfully, the Marvel's Avengers with them wasn't exactly the greatest thing since sliced bread. I
Shout
really
out to
hope.
Luke.
Huh?
No, we don't need to shout him out. Don't worry about that.
You can. Yeah, we can probably edit that out later.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that with Guardians of the Galaxy that we probably get, Square Enix able to kind of like right that ship. Like, hey, we know how to handle a Marvel franchise like Insomniac. Anyways, it looks like a very, very, very good year. There's some other games that haven't been announced yet, exactly when they're coming out. Pong led off on Scorn. Really want to check out Scorn. I've seen bits and pieces. I've read a lot about the game. I've seen the stuff they've released already. Definitely a very unique concept of a game. Another game that seems to be flying under the radar that I hope is not. I hope it does come out, and that would be Atomic Heart. That would be a very, very interesting game because Microsoft has even touted putting it in Game Pass. There is a lot of controversy. It's a very, very small studio with, I think, like only a handful of devs creating this game. I really hope it does come to fruition and actually exist and get launched on Game Pass because it seems like a very, very interesting concept of a game. No, I hope it's this year. I firmly believe it probably might bleed over into 2022 for that one.
Possibly. We don't have any idea when that game's coming out. We don't have even an inkling. So,
well, when Microsoft did the whole E3 press conference, they showed a video of Atomic Heart. It made me laugh because they used Russian pop music.
Yeah, I saw
but then when they showed the Game Pass card for the rest of the year, showing all the titles for the rest of the year, that's where we saw Scorn and Atomic Heart on that card. And that's like pretty much all we've seen.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that shapes up, man. But
can I ask just real quick? Can I ask something of the panel here? Does anybody, and this is just real quick because it just popped up on my timeline again, another video of Vanguard. Do you think there's any way they delay Vanguard?
No.
You think they're just going to push it out?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to delay it. I don't.
Okay. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the worst performing Call of Duty.
Oh my god, dude, that's saying a lot too.
Yeah. Thank God they got Warzone to fall back on. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'll only say Mr. Badbit is the only person I've heard talk optimistically at all, saying it's still going to sell this year.
Oh yeah,
and I can't deny that either. But still, that's like the most optimism I've heard for Vanguard since at least when it got told it was coming.
Yeah, man. Like its title is worth 11 million copies minimum.
Yeah, it just is what it is. It's sad. It's sad to say. It's like people buy Madden and every year and still complain that it's the same game every
complaining
year.
while they're typing in their card number or while they're
exactly
pushing purchase.
I can't believe this from you. World War II again. My
They need to update the franchise.
Is it 60 or 70? $70. How dare you?
This is not worth it.
You really.
Can you imagine if these were physical businesses people actually had to walk into to purchase this stuff and actually have the little crony behind the counter like, hey, you're back. How's it been?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Thought we weren't going to see you this year.
I know, right?
you were out there talking all that smack. Yeah. Well, yeah, your copy's over there on the counter. Mm-hmm. Just
that's right. Pick it up. $74.99.
Yeah, it's $10 more this year.
Too much. You guys are crazy. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show on that note, man. You guys have been an amazing chat, man. We appreciate you guys watching live, man. We've had so much fun today. First and foremost, shout out to Mr. Badbit, man. Joe, shout out to Mr. K-Step, Kyle as well, man. We gotta give these guys their flowers. Once again, the definitive PlayStation experience. If you're trying to get information, follow along with Sony has going, with PlayStation has going. They really do cover everything. Like if it's significant enough, but they cover a little bit of everything. So to be honest with you, but I appreciate you, Joe, man. It's been a long time coming, but you always know your family, man. Let everybody know in the chat where they can find you and what you got going on.
Yeah, man, you can find me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. You can find the Trophy Room at PS Trophy Room on Twitter, and you can find the Trophy Room Show wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. They change their name like every 2 weeks. They're like the P. Diddy of like podcasts. Like stick to a name, Apple. You got Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, wherever you find your podcast service of choice, you can find the Trophy Room there. You can also find the Trophy Room over on the Trophy Room Show video version on YouTube. And yeah, we're doing some big things. Next 2 weeks are gonna be pretty crazy. It's gonna be like full circle for me, and get anxiety about it.
Dude.
So
I love it. It's gonna be whatever.
All
it is,
secret
Joe.
stuff. De Niro Primero, who does our art for the show, showed me something, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this has become real." I need to not freak. So
hey,
yeah,
we're waiting. Hey, we're over here in the wings, man. We're super excited. Thank you for the little bit of tidbit, dropping the nuggets on us. We thank you for that. But once again, man, all success is well deserved, brother. You guys do a great job over there. You and Kyle. So shout out once again. Can't forget Kyle, the other half. Things over there at the PS Trophy Room. But once again, guys, all that information is down in the description below. Please go show some love, support, well deserved. So yeah, we love to have you back on. You already know your family. So we appreciate you here. But let's go ahead and get over to my compadres here, Mr. Pong Harvey. Let everybody know what's going on, man. What's going on with you guys I know you're super busy too. You've been on a lot of shows recently, but what you got cooking up?
Yeah. No, man, what a fantastic Joe. Can I just having Joe here is just fantastic. But can I just say, Joe, I can't wait to see the acquisition season intro that De Niro Primero is whipping up for you. I can't wait to see that. It's gonna be special, man. It's gonna be special.
Yeah,
you love me.
You see
Joe,
it's crazy because you didn't see the range of emotions on your face. You went from like extremely.
No, Joe, this was awesome, dude. Like
Absolutely.
I said, man, it's been too long, brother. I really do miss you.
Likewise.
I love podcasting with you, man. Your energy, your attitude, the thoughts, everything about it is just professional and it's well done. And you just knock it out of the park every time I'm on a show with you. So thank you for being here. Love having you here. PTK, Fuzzy, Centurion, absolute pleasure, brothers. You know this. Love ending my Saturday night. My podcasting week ends usually on tonight, and it is this week, so it's always a great way to do that. Love getting to chat with you all. You know what? And chat, you guys, phenomenal, amazing, always showing up for us. Great discussions in there. Love you all. Nothing but respect for what you guys do, because make no mistake, you guys are an absolute key cog in all of this. Without you, there is none of this. So again, thank you all for being here. Pong Soul, Xbox, Twitter, you guys know the drill. Otherwise, Tuesday, be back on Xbox Factor Podcast, Double Barrel Gaming, Mr. Boomstick, Zemi Games. 3-Bit is taking some time off. because he is so damn busy with making all the future games for us that he cannot
He's just
podcast.
practicing for Halo Infinite.
Probably. But now, so who knows? We're gonna have a special guest show up this week. I know who it is, but I'm gonna let Boom obviously shout it out because Boom loves to do that stuff. Yeah, we've had Mav showing up, so great time there. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, Friday nights. Xbox Ultimate with fun speculation, aka Mav, his amazing wife Caitlin, the rest of the Magnificent Seven. We do have some people missing, but Mav always fills in with a bunch of great guests. Last Friday we had Obi-Wan, who everybody in the community knows, and Jasper Gaming, who is up and coming content creator himself. It was a great time. So come check us out there, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Saturday mornings, the living split screen. My brother from another, Steel Rain. Set those alarms. We're going to be there again. We just wrapped up episode 25 today. It was another hit. Oh, man. Yeah, it's
Big
crazy
milestone.
to even think about that. It's
right?
crazy how fast time goes. Like time goes fast the older you get anyways, and you watch your kids grow up and it just goes crazy. Man, doing this stuff, it's even faster now because I can see all these numbers going up. But yeah, we had another great show. We're going to have a great show next week, I'm sure, because it's going to be Scorched Earth, Take-Two, Ubisoft, owned by Xbox. It's over with. Wrap up. Amazon's going to be making bids on Sony. Sony's going to want to get out of the game. It's going to be over with. The internet's going to blow up. So that's it. No, it's going to be a great show next Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, 3 p.m. UK time. Living split screen, all one word. Play what you love what you play. It is the golden age of gaming. It is the best time to be a gamer right now. I'm telling you, after 4 decades of gaming, there has been nothing bigger than what we're going through right now. It's a great time. So enjoy yourselves. Love you all. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Pong. Man, once again, Pong is always on the scene. So you can find Pong all over YouTube, all over Twitter. Go follow him as well. Shout out to you, Pong, always providing that good gaming energy to the show, to the gaming community in general, bro. So shout out to you as well. So Centurion, let everybody know what you got cooking up. Maybe we got some videos coming down the pipeline.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's been a very long couple of weeks between work and everything else. I'm looking forward to finally getting some content out, revisiting some things with Fanboy. Definitely got some things planned. I'll say that. For those who do want to find my content, you can find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube, Xbox Live, and of course Twitter. You can also, my God, someone's texting me. Sorry if you can hear that. Oh my gosh. You could also find me right here every Saturday night on the Shop Podcast with these amazing gentlemen and great guests like Mr. Badbit. It was an awesome chat with you. To be able to chat with you once again on a live show is always a blast. And you can also find me every Sunday night on the TXR Podcast hosted by Invader Gaming with the rest of the amazing gentlemen over there.
Awesome. Shout out to you as well, man. Thank you for hanging out. Always here. Super consistent, Centurion. So we'll switch this thing over. Last but not least, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, man. Newly retired Fuzzy Belvedere. So, go ahead, brother.
Well, just want to thank Mr. Badbit for joining us tonight. It was awesome having you on here. Always good hearing your views and, just your feedback on not just the games, but the community in general. But it's always awesome. And the trophy room.
I'm looking forward to the tune-up, my man, for Horizon. By the way, yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely hit me up on that because, when Horizon 5 comes out, there's going to be some stuff coming out the pipeline as far as what you'll see on my YouTube and on Twitter and things like that. But yeah, if you're pretty much a fan of mine on Twitter, anybody listening today, definitely check out the Trophy Room. It is my go-to for PlayStation updates and news and reviews. So definitely give those guys a like or a subscription or a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and stuff. Yeah. But as far as me, you can always find me on Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere, on PlayStation at Fuzzy_Belvedere, or Xbox Live, Fuzzy Space Belvedere. Going to be playing a lot of Insurgency, Sandstorm, and a lot of other games in between. I'm going to head back to Deathloop here soon, but man, it's always awesome being here with my family, my second family, my brothers in arms, UPTK, Pong, and Centurion. It's always awesome talking my favorite hobby with you guys, and the chat's always awesome. Just interacting with you guys. But man, I love doing this, and now that I have a lot more free time, yeah, you'll probably be seeing some more of me out there on other shows and my own content and things like that. So, man, just hey, now I can fully relax and do what I want.
Nice, awesome. Well, we wanted that. We're definitely waiting on the content for sure. But man, last but not least, your boy PTK Blam. Appreciate you guys hanging out once again, Mr. Babbitt, Joe, Kyle as well. Everybody that supports PS Trophy Room. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. We appreciate your time here, man. Hope you had fun. But chat, you guys know what to do. So like, subscribe. Appreciate the energy you guys provide. So next week, same time, same place, another guest. We got some things lined up. Got a person that ain't been on the show in a while that I'm reaching out to that said get back to me. So hopefully we can get that done. It's been a little while, but if it works out, it's going to be a really, really fun week. So look forward to that. Hopefully I can get confirmation maybe Monday, Tuesday, and we can get this thing going. But appreciate you guys once again. Hit me up. All information is down in the description below. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. We are out of here. Peace out, everyone.